guys, and welcome back to Her Coach, the podcast. Today we're here with Isabella.
Hey.
And we're going to be going into all things going a non-traditional path out of high school and a little bit of her story, things she's learned along the way. Yeah, so
Yes.
Why don't you give them a little intro about yourself, maybe a little bit of background?
Yeah, so it's actually funny because me and Brooke grew up in the same hometown.
Yes.
We haven't seen each other in like
4 years?
Yeah, 4 years, something like that. So it's really cool to reconnect over this and see all the great things that she's doing. So we're from the same hometown, which is like a super small hometown in Wisconsin.
Not much to see.
Yeah, there's not much to see, but it's really cute. It's like homey, hometown vibes. I grew up being a dancer, and I ended up moving out when I was 16. I moved to the Chicago area to just be in a little bit of a bigger market and have more opportunities with dance, because that was what I was thinking that I wanted to do.
Yeah.
And then when I was 18, I graduated and enrolled at a school called Chapman University, and I only ended up staying there for one semester. I didn't really want to go. I don't think it just wasn't right for me. They were like very adamant that college was super important for me, things like that, which I totally get. It just wasn't important or right for me at the time.
Yeah.
And so I ended up dropping out and just like pursuing dance in a different way. And it thankfully ended up working out so far. So yeah.
That's so cool. So moving out at 16, that's a lot to take on. Because you're living in an apartment, you're commuting to your studio, you're commuting to high school. What was that like for you, just making that transition a lot earlier than most?
It was crazy because in hindsight, I was not ready, but in the moment I felt like I was like, no problem. I'm totally ready.
So fair.
But I figured it out. It was crazy because I had just learned how to drive like maybe 2 months prior.
And then driving in like Chicago.
And then I was driving in like Chicago. To be fair, it was like the suburbs, so it wasn't that bad, but still it was crazier than Wisconsin.
Yeah, because Wisconsin's like nothing. Like
it's nothing. It's so chill. There's no cars on the road pretty much.
Yeah.
And so it was crazy to go into that environment, and my grandma moved down and stayed with me for a little bit, but she also
I remember this.
She had her own life, and I have 4 younger brothers.
Yeah.
So like my parents had their own life. So it was like there was a lot of times where I was left to, not in a bad way at all, but I was like left to get myself up for school and go to dance after school and make sure that I was doing everything on my own.
That's a lot.
And it was a lot, but I think that it was really good for me because it taught me just how to operate on my own.
Yeah.
From a super young.
You moved to LA when you were 18, correct?
So I actually moved to Chapman University, which is like the college that I went to.
Oh, yeah.
That's in Orange County.
Oh, okay.
Chapman is in Orange County, and that's like an hour south of LA.
Okay, gotcha.
So it's close enough to LA to where I was still able to go up and take classes and see people that I knew in LA. But I was just like spending all of my time and money going to LA.
I'm sure, and classes are so expensive.
They're so expensive,
like
and now
$25, $35 for a class.
For a class, and now they're even like more expensive. That's like the price range now-ish.
Okay.
Back then it was like, I feel old. I'm like, back then. But seriously, in 4 years, it's
gone
4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
It's gotten a lot more expensive. I didn't have a car, so I was like Ubering up to LA.
Ubers there, I'm sure, are like...
It was crazy.
Oh my gosh. Ubering there and back for one class?
Yeah.
That hurts. That hurts. Like just mentally thinking that, I'm like, oh my God.
But I didn't have the best experience at Chapman, and this is no hate to like the school or anybody involved, but for some reason, I just like really struggled to make friends, and I really struggled to find a place for myself there.
Yeah.
But I was finding a place in LA, and I felt like the dancing fit me a lot better in LA than it did at school.
Yeah.
And so I was like, this is just not right for me. I was just having a really hard time. So I decided to drop out of school after one semester, and I ended up doing this program in LA at Edge Performing Arts Center, which is it was like one of the bigger studios. It was like Edge and Millennium.
Oh, okay.
Before COVID hit.
Okay.
So during COVID, Edge ended up closing, and they have not reopened, which is very sad. But Edge had this like academy program, and that was like a training program where you would just take from X amount of choreographers a week, and then at the end you would do a little showcase, and you would get like a little certificate. And it wasn't like you need to do that when you get to LA.
Yeah.
It's more like that was something to give me structure.
Yeah, I feel like structure, that's the hardest part because high school is so structure heavy. Even transitioning to traditional college, like the structure's a lot more lax. Like your whole day.
Yes.
Right. Even for me, like I did online school in high school, but I would still be at dance. So I had so much structure and I worked from the age of 14 onwards. Like I had very little time to be like idle and be like, oh, like what do I want to do with myself?
Exactly.
It just wasn't a thing.
And I feel like you probably feel like this moving to a city like by yourself. Like the first time you don't have like college or studio or something to be plugged into.
It's so much.
It's so much. So I think that if you're pursuing art and stuff like that, like it's really good to get involved with a program, even to meet friends and stuff.
I agree. Like,
because a city is just a lot.
It's a lot. Like even for me, I go to Core Power and I
love Core Power.
You love Core Power? Oh my gosh.
I had a membership for a year.
Really?
Yeah, maybe you can help me with my finances because I had to quit.
Oh my gosh, yeah,
I was like, I can't afford this anymore.
It is expensive, but like to me, it's so worth it because I just feel so mentally good.
Yeah.
And I'm someone, I like don't sweat. Just, I don't know what it is. It takes a lot for me to sweat, but that will make me sweat because it's like 100 degrees.
Yeah.
And so I love going, and that even has given me such a good sense of like community and like I just see the same teachers, and I had a little bit of a freak thing happen there that I got stuck in an elevator alone for 30 minutes.
No.
That was terrifying. And it was like dropped in between floors and it was like no air. Like, it was really scary. And I was already afraid of elevators. So
no way.
Yeah, it took me about 2 months to get in an elevator alone, which is unfortunate for my apartment situation.
No.
But after that, I low-key had so much community because I came in like a wreck and all the teachers were like, oh my gosh. They were so nice. Because of course I got charged because I didn't show up for my class.
Oh my God.
Because I was in an elevator for 30 minutes.
They better have refunded
Yeah,
you.
they did refund me.
Okay.
But I think anything you can do like that, like just to get plugged in, or I go to run clubs.
Yeah.
My friends and I are like pickleball fiends. And
ooh, nice.
There's a really big community here. Like if you go play pickleball, there's so many people out. Just like you literally wait in line for a court. You like put your racket down and you wait.
That's so cute.
It's so fun. But I think community in any big city is so important, especially in that post-grad lifestyle.
Yeah, totally. So I ended up doing this program. It was at Edge and it was great. I have nothing bad to say about it. And my dad helped me like drive out my stuff, and I like moved into a studio apartment from Orange County from my dorm, and then I moved into a studio apartment in like Burbank, which is LA. Then I was like training, doing my thing. I was so happy, so excited. I got my studio apartment.
Yeah.
And I ended up like tearing my ACL on a random Tuesday, a weekend.
That's horrible.
Yeah, it was crazy because I had also never been injured.
I don't remember a single thing.
If I was sitting out, honestly, I was faking.
You're so real for that.
I was like never actually hurt. So like an injury was always like the last thing on my mind.
Yeah, valid.
So anyways, I like hurt my knee. I had to move home, long story short, and it was really interesting because COVID ended up hitting like a week later.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
So everybody moved home anyways.
Yeah, true.
But I didn't realize that at the time. I was like, my life's over, and also this pandemic is happening.
Yeah.
But it was actually perfect timing if I had to get injured.
Yeah, that is perfect timing.
You know what I'm saying?
So what was the mental side of that like? You're pursuing something that is fully dependent on your body being fully functioning, and then you have this injury that you don't know what your recovery looks like. How did you deal with that mentally?
Mentally, it was really hard, especially at first, because now I feel like I have a little bit more perspective, and I have an interest in dance, but I also have an interest in choreography and like editing and doing like video production and things like that. But at the time, physically dancing was like my only interest in my entire life.
That's really hard.
Obviously you grow out of it and you grow into enjoying other things, but like
I went through a crisis in college, like freshman year.
Yeah.
I didn't even know how to introduce myself. That's the hardest thing. People are like, oh my gosh, tell me about yourself. And I'd be like, I don't know. Like, I'm not a dancer because I'm not dancing. What do I even say? Like, it was so hard. And now I have so much other identity. I wouldn't really say I struggle with that now, but it was really hard.
Yeah.
Like, mentally.
Yeah, and honestly, like, that was like the same age for me. So I was like, I don't know, like that was just the only thing that mattered to me. And so then when that was taken away from me, this is really silly, but I remember I was just doing like stupid things to keep my mind off stuff. Like I was like learning card tricks.
Wait, that's actually so fun.
Yeah, it was really fun, but I was like, I remember, or I'll think back to that time and I'm like, I must have been really
going through it.
Yeah, because I would never do that now.
So fair. But I also feel like there's something nice about just finding other outlets that are so random.
Yeah.
Like the amount of outlets I have now, I don't know. A lot of people are always asking me, like, why do you, like, you do so much. You do so many random things.
Yeah.
I love looking at alternative investments. I'm just so into investing, like, all those things. Like, I love reading. I love just, like, learning. And being able to tap into that and know you have that, I could be 90 years old and I can still read.
To do things, yeah. No, totally. And I don't know, I feel like in hindsight, it was really good that it happened to me because it forced me into enjoying other things like teaching and choreographing, which is like something that you can do for a lot longer than dancing. Because even with dancing, you can only physically do it for so long because it's so hard on your body, and especially the type of dance that I like to do. It's very athletic, and it's not meant for the long haul, which is totally fine. But I think it was like my injury, especially such a long injury, like it took me a year to get like back on my feet because they have to like completely make you basically a new knee. Yeah, because the ACL, you're basically thigh to your shin or like your calf area. And so then when that's torn, it's like your leg is basically just nothing's connecting the two.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That's actually horrifying.
Yeah, so there's other muscles around it. So like I could still walk. After a week, your muscles will rearrange a little bit to where if you break your right arm, your left arm gets stronger.
Yeah.
Like that situation. So after a while I could walk, but I couldn't like jump or do anything too crazy. I could pretty much only walk up until my surgery. And then I got surgery and whatever. But it took like a full year after surgery to like get back to quote unquote 100%. But 100% after taking a year off, really 100% because I was still working out and staying fit and like doing PT and stuff, but it's just different. And so I had a long way to go after that.
Yeah. Okay. So you're coming back after a year. I'm going to assume you have a lot of perspective change. What was that like, getting back to the same lifestyle that you were pursuing before, and what kind of changes did you experience in that?
So after I had gotten back to 100% of my dance ability, I was actually not planning on like pursuing dance anymore.
Really?
I was applying to colleges during like my injury and stuff like that. And I was actually going to go to the University of Minnesota and go like the pre-law route. This is an unknown fact about me. Yeah. I was going to do school.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Pre-law, that's cool.
I know, and I wanted to do their dance team there, and if you know their dance team, they're
so good, yeah.
They're so great, and so I was like, this would be perfect for me because I would still get to do dance, and I would get to have this other life too, and I feel like my injury like brought me there.
Yeah.
But I got into the school, and then like for the dance team, it just didn't end up working out, which is honestly now totally fine, but at the time I was like so upset about it.
I can imagine, yeah.
Yeah, and I just like had no idea what I was doing because then I was like, I don't just want to go to like school. If I'm gonna be in the Midwest in like this area, I want to be with my family and be around people that I know.
Yeah.
So I honestly just had zero plans for 3 months. I was just like floating. I was like, I have no idea what I'm doing, whatever. And then this choreographer, his name is Teddy Forens, he came to my mom's studio, which was like our childhood studio in Wisconsin. He came to the studio to set choreography, and he was launching this new program. It was called, at the time it was called Gen 4 Conservatory, but now it's called CLI Conservatory. And so, it was like...
I didn't realize that was at that time.
Yeah.
The CLI was COVID.
CLI it was like a year of COVID, but if COVID started March of 2020, I went to CLI in September of 2021.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
So it was like after I had rehabbed for a full year, I like met Teddy at the studio and I took his class, and he was like, you should come do my program, which was funny because I, for the first time in my life, had zero plans of anything that I wanted to do. And so I was like, yes. I was just like, absolutely, I will be there. Yes. I don't really know where this is going to lead me, but like, I'm there. So I ended up moving to Massachusetts the year after I was home. And it's crazy because it's this really small town. Yeah. But he brings in like the top choreographers from the industry.
That's so cool.
It's so cool. I don't know how he did it, or like how he jam-packed everything
into some random small little.
Literally, and it's like
interesting. I didn't know it was in Massachusetts.
Yeah, it's in his hometown, and his mom's studio is there too. So we had like our days every day. We would train all day, every day. It was crazy to go there because it was going to another small town, which is like going from small town to small town is interesting because it's the same but really different. And also, it was going from like me really just like working out and teaching to training every day from 8:30 a.m. to 7 p.m. Yeah. And because I was so hungry to be back in the studio and stuff, I was like never wanting to miss a day. I was just like ready to be there. I was really excited to be there. And so it was honestly like the hardest thing I've ever done. But it was so rewarding because I got so much out of it. And like now, what we were saying earlier about like finding a community and stuff like that. Yeah. Now like my entire community is like a lot of CLI people.
That's
like
so cool that he's brought all these people together. We're like all over.
All of my best friends, like pretty much I would say at least half of my circle, which is a really big amount, is literally CLI because when you move to LA, like so many people from CLI now, there's like multiple years past. Like they'll move to LA and it's if you say, oh, I'm from CLI, you immediately just have that community.
Yeah, that's so cool.
And 2 of my roommates are from CLI too, so it's just, I don't know. It's really cool.
Yeah,
and
that is cool.
It was like, I always say it was like the best thing that happened to me because it was so random.
That is really random.
And I would not be dancing if it wasn't for that. And like it helped me get an agent. It helped me get like my name out there, stuff like that. So
but I also feel like it really makes sense for how you were as a child. Watching your progression, I feel like, okay, this all like checks out. It all makes sense. Like even like the law thing, like like you would have been a good lawyer. You were such a fiery like child. Like you could like, stand up for yourself. Like you would have been such a badass lawyer.
Because I loved to argue when I was little.
Yeah.
I loved doing that. I loved like challenging my parents and like
breaking the dress code and like all the stuff we would do. I don't know. We would pull these pranks. Like
I was always doing something crazy. I was always breaking the dress code.
Yeah, I was not. I was such a like little rule follower.
I still break the dress code sometimes.
So fair. I feel like I've gotten a lot more lax. Like I'm very type A, but in some things I'm like so lax. Like when you texted me like 1 minute away, I was like literally wearing my pajamas.
That's so funny.
But like I just get more lax with things over time. Yeah. Like I remember 6 months ago when I was filming, like I would be like prepped and like sitting like an hour before. Yeah. But like now I'm just kind of like, I know my routine. Just But I don't know. Just looking at the path of everyone like from our hometown, it's so interesting because as young kids we all seem so similar. Yes. But the little differences you can see them. And then looking at everyone now, it's just, it all makes sense, like where everyone is. It's just like how they were as a child, just like, expanded. But it's so interesting when you know someone as a 5th grader.
Yes. Which is really rare because like I don't really, again, we were just talking about this. I don't really stay in contact with like too many people just because also like I left when I was 16. I didn't even finish high school. So it's, even though I go back there a lot for work and things like that. Yeah. Most of the time I'm just working or hanging out with the same 4 or 5 people.
So valid.
Which is crazy because we had such a big circle.
I know. It was.
Especially like, I don't know, like the circle always just felt so big.
Yeah, especially
everyone
like
knew each other.
In the younger production years, it was just, I don't know. It seemed like it would never end, that we were all just like in each other's lives. And it's so interesting because like my friends now like absolutely love and adore all of them. But it's weird when you like have no sense of who they were at a young age. Do you know what I mean?
Yes. Yeah. Or like I'll always go through and be like, this was me when I was little. Or I'll show people like this is what I did when I was like 10. Yeah. And that's crazy because you did not know me.
And you don't even know that side of me. Especially for my friends, like I'm in like opposite field. Like I work in finance.
Totally.
Compared to, I grew up in a pre-professional ballet
You're my
program.
Favorite finance bro.
Oh, thanks.
Yes.
I love the finance bro stuff.
That's so funny.
But I don't know. I think it's also just so cool when you have support from people who are like from childhood. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, totally. And I feel like sometimes it's hard to, especially when you're taking like more of a non-traditional path, it's hard to get like that understanding from people that's like in your hometown. And a lot of times it's not even, Isabella, we don't understand you. It's just like a vibe that you feel or like little like comments here and there. Exactly. But I feel like knowing what you're supposed to do is so important.
Yes, and just trusting yourself to actually do it.
Yeah.
Be like, okay, if this is something I want to pursue, like, screw everyone else. Like, I'm going to pursue it. You know what I mean? Because I don't know about you, but I would rather live feeling a little bit judged by other people than live feeling disappointed with myself.
Oh, same. And I'm okay. I honestly get excited when people are like, oh, I don't get it. Or if I go home and people are like, your outfit's crazy or whatever. And
I like your vibe. Stuff. I think it's cool. You like very much have a distinguishable, brandable vibe, like which I think is important in LA, like with an agent.
It is.
Not that I really know anything about LA, but
no, but you're right.
Like you do have a distinct look, and I think like that's easier than like someone who's just like a copy paste.
That's so sweet. Thank you so much.
Of course.
But yeah, it's like exciting to be a little bit misunderstood sometimes, I think, because I did not go to college like all of my other classmates, but it's okay because I'm doing what I want to do. And if I want to go to college later in life, I totally can.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
But like for now, the whole like dance and the whole art thing is like really working out, and like it's opened me up to like other avenues within that, because I was saying this before, but you can't physically dance forever. And so being in LA and like starting to choreograph a little bit more and like work on my own video projects and stuff like that.
That's very cool.
That's something that started to really interest me. And so it's cool to see like, even though I'm still dancing and dance is still such a thing and it's like the center point of everything, it's cool to see, okay, maybe like creative direction would be cool, or like maybe doing more stuff on screen would be cool, things like that. It's cool to see what it evolves into.
That is really cool. And finding ways to support the things that you're passionate about. Like even if like dance can be super lucrative, it can be super not lucrative, unfortunately, a lot of the time.
Yeah.
But like you said, like you have a remote job, and like being able to find, like you were telling me things about like compressing the video. I'm like, I don't know anything about that. And like, I just like learned from like YouTube and ChatGPT.
Yeah.
But it's so cool that you've been able to find avenues like that too. Like just like other things. And as you get older, just continuing to find more ways. And just, I think a lot of people get way too caught up in what's my next 10 years. And I couldn't have told you 2 years ago what I would be doing. Like
totally.
Literally when I was a sophomore in college, I was under the nursing school.
That's so crazy.
Yeah, like I didn't switch to business school until junior year.
Wow.
Yeah, it was also not random. Like it all made sense looking back. But I think you really can't get too caught up in it because you don't know what your job's going to be in 5 years.
Yeah.
Like you don't know what your financial situation is going to be in 5 years.
No.
So if it's working right now, and like it doesn't look like it's gonna implode in the next 60 days, like roll with it. That's just
that's a good like point, and that's good advice honestly for me too, because sometimes because dance is very like unpredictable financially, and I've been lucky to where like I have great teaching connections and good choreography connections to where I've been able to support myself through a million different things.
It's so cool.
At the end of the year, my taxes look really crazy because I have so many W-9s. Even this summer, I probably have 12 to 15 just like different tax forms.
I'm sure.
Which is just how it is. But like sometimes it's stressful to think, what if that goes away? Like people burn out, people this, people that, people whatever. So that's why I'm like, right now and in the next like couple years, I really want to do a good job with, okay, I want to maybe invest in some camera equipment and start like doing other things that like bring me joy too, that can also bring me financial stability.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Do it. So one of my friends who went to school for neuroscience, he does a lot of my photography for coach. He just took some photos for me like the other day.
In the curlers? Yeah, those were awesome.
Thank you. I'm like so excited. We took so many. We just did 5 outfits. Changed my hair, did everything.
That's so cool.
But he's like super talented in photography and went to school for neuroscience. And like has all these different interests and is finding ways to do both. Yeah. And I think it's so cool when people can get to a point where they can realize you're not identified by what you do, and you can do so many things. I'm interested in finance, but I also love running. I love like podcasting. This is so not typical for what you think of as, oh, like someone who works in finance. You know what I mean? But like, I don't think most people who are like in a space like that are fully the stereotype 100% of the time. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
totally.
I think everything. You need to find these other avenues, like videography, like working for cool companies, like doing their film work. Like you never know what.
Because like even like my roommate is like an amazing dancer, but she also does photography, and like my other roommate is an amazing dancer, and she like tours with an artist, but she also is amazing at makeup, and like she also works at Shake Shack too.
Yeah.
And my other roommate does stuff with Pilates, and she's like doing a movie right now. So I feel like it's expanding. Like the more people that you meet in like the arts community and things like that, the more you realize that everybody's just like a multi-hyphen. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody is, if you really had to ask me like how many things like are you?
Yeah.
I could go on forever, but I don't think I was always able to go on forever. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like it's like really important as you like grow and mature into your career to be like, okay, what are these other things?
That I think is something that realizing that and fully absorbing it has fully changed my life. If you go in my room, there's a wall and there's literally like 9 different note cards with like different goals I have that are all such different avenues. Yeah. And like things I want to achieve in such different lanes of life. Yeah. But there's so much opportunity. I want to do real estate. I want to pursue tons of different alternative investments. I want to speak at events. I did speak at one event last year, but I want to speak at more events. I want to. You should. I don't know. Just do so many things. I've looked at, like a car wash is a good investment. Like maybe I want to own a car wash. Like
Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
Have you seen Breaking Bad?
A little bit, not much.
All right, they own a car wash.
Oh, really?
Eventually in the seasons,
Okay. I only watched a couple random episodes, so I don't know that one. But I really think when you realize you're not limited to how you see yourself, you can do so much. Like I never thought I would be running a half marathon when I was like 17.
Yeah,
it's
so random. That's a great point. And also, honestly, this conversation is making me like think good things because because you're saying that you're like doing all of these things, and sometimes, okay, even though I'm like, yeah, I dance and I like choreograph and I edit and I like want to start doing more with video, even though I do a little bit with video and whatever, there still is like so much more. Yeah, there's, you know what I'm saying? Much. And honestly, like with the whole like having like an open schedule, like being a freelance artist, you either have all the time in the world or like none of the time in the world. So sometimes it's like hard to, there'll be like 2 weeks where I literally have nothing other than like my remote job, which is, it's not that hard. It's just, it's like computer tasks. So I can do it every day. It's like a part of my routine. And so then it's, I have so much time to do all of this. And then when I'm in the summer, like right now, I'm like, hey, I have 2 hours before my flight. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's, I don't know, I feel like it's about also like staying consistent with like your multiple goals, even when it's like your schedule's not always consistent. Mm-hmm.
And I think something I do that has really helped me is having like a list of goals that it's like, hey, this might be literally in 20 years, but I would like to do this. Because I'm blanking on it, but it's a name that starts with a P, but there's this rule or this like law that basically however much time you allot to a given task, the task will expand to fill that. So if you have 8 hours of the day where you literally have nothing, you can so easily mindlessly move through the day and literally achieve nothing and not realize it because you allotted 8 hours of nothingness. And same thing like with working a corporate job, we're allotted the standard 8 hours a day, so the tasks expand to fill that 8 hours. Where if you had 4 hours, like you would probably get it done. You would just like grind. Yeah. So like when you realize this, you can utilize it to then actually achieve what you want to achieve. Like for me, I have this list and it's okay, like I have free time. Like why don't we listen to a podcast on whatever one of these things on my list and just like thinking. And sometimes I like to compartmentalize it by days. Like I'm gonna for 30 minutes on Wednesdays at 6:30 a.m. before I always take a walk in the morning because it just, I don't know. Yeah. I need my sunlight in the morning. But sometimes I'll do a little research then, or I'll pick a podcast that I'll listen to on my walk about one of the many things I want to try to achieve or like maybe pursue, or just research pursuing and see if it's even worth my time.
Yeah, the time thing is very real because even with like choreography, basically if you're choreographing a dance for like studio or something, you get a certain amount of time and you have to do it, and that you have to set the choreography on the dancers. And when I get 12 hours, I take 12 hours. And then I'm like, another studio will give me like 4.5 hours. And I'm like, how am I going to do this? Last week it took me 12 hours to set this group dance. But like this week I had 4.5 hours to set my group dances, and we got it done in no problem. So that's like honestly interesting.
Yeah,
And it's very true.
weird.
Like, it's very true.
I love psychology though. Like I study
Yeah.
like psychology of money, psychology of like just like how people approach different things, psychology of goal achievement, just like with writing it down. Like actually a really big thing, like visually being exposed to things highly increases your odds of actually achieving them. That's what, if you were to go look at my desk, I actually did just clear it, but typically it's covered in sticky notes. If you look at my laptop, the two sides of like where the mouse is always have little sticky notes. Like I very like write it out, and I have this template that I built out throughout college, and it has like ongoing things. Some of them have a due date that's like a year away.
Yeah.
But something like so like random that I'm like, oh, like maybe this will work out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But just like constantly exposing yourself things, I think is half of what people miss. Like they mention it, they have a conversation about it, they don't do anything with that energy other than talk about it. And when you talk about something you want but you don't do anything about it, you actually make it harder for yourself to achieve, because you relieve some of the mental stress that comes with keeping it only up here when it comes to a goal, because you're like, oh, I talked about it, cool, like we're making progress, but you didn't do anything. Sometimes it's better to just not tell anyone. Or
Just do it.
Yeah, or like only talk about it, say I can only talk about it to one person for 20 minutes, and that's it. You know what I mean? Just like taking the mental energy and actually putting it where you're gonna see growth.
Yeah,
you know?
which is very important too. With we've been talking about like different career paths and like different things that people like, different ways to get to what you want. With being a freelance artist and you are in charge of your own destiny, nobody's telling you you have to fill out this report by noon. You just have to do stuff and be in charge of yourself. I feel like that's very important, because little habits like writing it out or talking about it and things like that, it's very important to like put that into your life, or else like it's just so easy to let things just be like a conversation that like blows away. Because even I'm like, oh, I would love to do more with like creative direction. That's so easy to blow that away. You know what I'm saying? It's just like when you're in charge of like your own schedule and you're in charge of like your own kind of like outcome of reality, it's so easy to just let things like,
oh my gosh,
go
100%,
because nobody's going to punish you for it.
No,
it's just,
the thing is, so many people just do this. Like we all can think of a friend who like has something they've been talking about for 5 years. Oh my gosh,
oh, yeah.
I really want to open a coffee shop, and it's like they're going and going. And one of my really good friends actually taught me this, because she's like this with her friends, and I'm trying to become more like this. If she'll be talking to a friend and be like, oh, I don't know, like want to get more toned, or I don't know, like want to pursue this thing. Yeah. And she keeps bringing it up but hasn't done anything. Her friends will literally be like, okay, you clearly don't want it then.
Ew.
Like, I would like that hurts.
That would, yeah, that hurts.
But it's
that hurts.
If you're not doing anything, you probably don't actually want it enough.
Yeah.
Like, even if you think you do,
you don't.
Check yourself. You don't, or you would have done something. You know?
Yeah, that's so real.
It's so hard though.
I'm like, self-check.
No, I'm like always.
That's so real.
I have so many things that I'm like, wow. I need to stay focused sometimes, because I just am always like, oh, opportunity.
Yes.
But I also think like with a lot of it, there's so much opportunity. The most important thing is like just to be kind and leave people with a warm feeling.
Yeah, and that's like something I'm about to say something like a little bit contradictory.
Okay.
In LA, in general, I've come into contact with the most kind, loving, best friendships I've ever had. Just a really positive experience socially. That doesn't mean that it's like 100% like that all the time.
Yeah.
And the more people you meet, like we were talking about some of the people that like you or I would look up to as kids, whereas like now being a dancer, they're just your peers and they're my friends now. Seeing people like who are just so great at what they do also be really nice people, it over time has just lessened my patience for anybody who's not like a super nice and kind person to be around, because I'm like, if this person who's like a superstar is nice, and you, I'm sure you're a superstar too, is not nice, like after you like meet a certain amount of people who are just like all the things, like talented, kind, giving, loving, it just lessens your patience and your bandwidth to deal with people who like aren't like that.
Oh my gosh, I so agree.
And like you can find, I'm really lucky because I've had a lot of like great experiences and like great friendships in LA, but there's also been some people who I'm like, oh my gosh, I cannot surround myself with you, and that's okay.
Because it affects you like a lot.
Yeah, and it's also interesting because everybody in Los Angeles, like knows each other.
Yeah, I'm sure.
And so it's like, you just really have to be like careful with who you're nice to, who you're not nice to, and stuff like that. So like, moving with kindness is also like
huge.
It's within any career, but like, especially in the dance career, it's just
because everyone's interconnected. Like, I'm not even in the world now, but like people I know are still connected to people. Like,
yeah, exactly. So we talked about 5 people who we have like mutuals with that like we didn't have mutuals with 2 years ago. So it's like crazy.
And also, I think going back to wanting to change your career path or like being stressed about that, in my opinion, if you're just a genuinely kind person, people want to give you opportunity.
Yeah.
Because like for me, like, I agree. The kind people in my life, I call. Like, someone has a job opening that I hear about, or like an internship, or like my podcast, like things like that. Yeah. If people are rude to me, like, I do not give opportunity. I do not give my time. Everyone has their off days. Like, I can excuse some things, but there's like certain behavior that it's just, I don't want to be around that, and I'm not going to give you my time anymore. I'm not going to give you my energy. I'm not going to give you any opportunity, even if you 100% fit the card. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, totally, because there's so many times where I'll be teaching somewhere and maybe I have to cancel for something that happens in LA and I have to recommend somebody. Yeah. And if you've been personally unreliable to me, or personally like vindictive to me, or anything, any sort of way to me, I'm not going to it's already a lot to recommend somebody, because
it's a lot of liability on you.
Exactly, because I'm like, okay, I just have to really trust this person. If I can't trust you myself 100%, then I can't put you up for the job. And that's 100%. Honestly, that's honestly like how LA has gone.
I'm sure.
Because after COVID, there's like less auditions and like less just like open calls and things like that. It's more just about who, and honestly, I get it, because if one day I'm a choreographer on a job, I'm going to hire my friends.
Yeah, literally.
That's what you do when you get power. You hire the people who you know deserve that.
Yeah, and also like the people that like, I am such a big supporter of my friends. Like, we're in such different lanes, and I'm always like cheering you on. Like,
yeah, no, same.
Like, and all my friends were like such different lanes. Like, I just love supporting them, like watching them thrive, even if we're in such different fields. But it's not even, like you said, it's not a thing of being a vindictive or like vengeful person, of not giving people who like aren't kind like opportunity. It's also just a thing of, if they weren't kind to you, like, why would you trust them with that? That's such a good point.
Yeah, it's also like energetically too. Like, I want to surround myself with people that like share the same like supportive energy, because if you're supportive of me, not that I would ever not be supportive of somebody, but if you're supportive of me, it makes me also want to support you, because we have this like exchange going, versus like it's hard to throw just like support or like whatever it may be at like literally nothing.
Yeah, and I think energy is just so like reciprocal. Yeah. What you're giving out, you're probably gonna at some point get back.
No, totally.
And, like, I'm not a perfect person. Like, I've messed up in things, and I've seen it like come back to bite me. You know?
Same.
It's everyone. But
I've been there.
I feel like we could talk forever, but if you had to give one closing piece of advice to people who are looking to pursue something that maybe like they don't have the most support from those around them, or maybe it's not the path that's the most traditional, what would you say to that person?
Pursuing a path that isn't traditional is really hard, because sometimes people in your immediate circle, they form opinions about what they think that you could be or should be, which is all like super valid and like almost always done with love. So it's hard to go a different direction, because people around you really do most of the time want the best for you. But I would say, as long as you're able to identify like the why behind what you're doing, and you feel really confident in that, there's no reason not to go 100%. Yeah. And it's also okay to change your mind. Like,
oh my gosh, 100%.
Because sometimes you'll get down, if you want to be like maybe a graffiti artist, you get down this path of doing this, and you realize, oh, I actually want to do watercolor. That's a really silly example, but you know what I'm saying? I would say go for it 100%, and really also like talk to other people who have gone for it and get their advice, because there's no better advice for somebody than from a person who's doing what you want to do.
100%.
Yeah, and everybody's path is different.
Yeah, everyone's path is for sure different, and I think a lot of people are willing to help you.
Yeah.
I've literally gotten advice from so many random people, and
Yes.
a lot of people are willing to help you. It's always surprising when it's someone you think maybe, oh, they wouldn't have time for that, but they're probably willing to help you. Everyone loves being asked about their path.
Yeah, totally.
But thank you guys so much for tuning in. It was so fun having you on. Loved hearing more of your journey and catching up. And if y'all are interested in one-on-one coaching, be sure to check out more info at our website and tune in next week for more fun advice and guests. Bye, guys.
Bye.